All right, so in this video, we're gonna talk about we're gonna do a little line items for the roof. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's call this John Roof. Okay. Estimate sketch. Let's go ahead and sketch out a roof real quick that we're gonna use. Sketching allows the estimate line items to auto-populate, which leads to quicker estimating. So unless you have the eagle view, then that's usually faster. So let's go ahead and put a roof there. Make it 30 by, let's say 20. 20 is fine. I'm gonna take out the number 1 out of there. Let's create another roof. We use a line break and we highlight Control to pull it out. Now I want to rotate it, and I'm using the star to pull it down. Okay, that's how I want it to look. Let's make this a little bit bigger. And let's go ahead and just change this to a hip roof. Alright, so that's how I want the roofs to look. So we have a gable, we have a hip. This 1,489 square feet. Square feet is what it's telling you right there. It's telling you the square feet for each section. So F1 is right here, F2 is right there, F3 is here, F4, F5 is 6, and then this is the slope on this side, and then this is the number of actual squares. So a pack of shingles come in squares. So this would be, to do this section is saying that it would need 3.3 squares of shingles, which is 10 by 10. So let's go ahead and get here. We're going to put the estimating line items there in the roofing section. Highlight this part to get started. Now the first thing that we have to do, if we're going to replace the roof, we have to tear off the old material. So let's put, where we're going to do is we're going to type in tear off, and you get these 3 items right here. Now I want to do a laminated shingles. We had a video about talking about that before. And then this is a 3 tab, this is a high pro, but these are the 2 most common, so we're going to use laminated. Now in the action, it's showing that there's only 1 action that you can use for this, because since this is taken off, the only action that can be possible is to remove it. And then over here, the means of calculation is squares, and it's showing 14.89 squares, because over here, if you go back to sketch, it's 1,489 square feet, which is 14.89 squares. 14.89 squares. So that's what you're seeing there. This is the replacement cost value. This is the actual cost value. So the difference will be the depreciation. We'll work on that in a moment. So after you tear off a roof, let's say that the roof has, let's say that the previous roofers that put the roof on, they didn't they didn't do a tear off, they just put new shingles over old shingles, and you want to estimate to take off the second layer, so you have to put additional layer. So here it is, add layer of composite shingles, remove and disposal of laminate. We're going to use that. That's how you remove. the additional layers, you'll see roofs with 2 layers sometimes in the field, or sometimes you get roofers that send you photos showing the 2 layers. Now we have to put the laminated on, so we're gonna estimate for laminated composite shingles. So it's going to be laminated composite shingles with felt. Um, this is what most insurance companies use. This is what most insurance companies want you to use. Most roofing companies and public adjusters, they typically use without felt. Um, so for this exercise, we're gonna do without felt. But if you are an adjuster, you're gonna be using it with felt. This would be the line item that you use. Insurance companies don't like to use without felt because it's kind of like double dipping. So we'll take a look and see. But right now, the price for that is $296.09. So let's go ahead and hit this line, this triangle. I'm gonna look for without felt, 259. Okay. Now we need to add the waste. So let's go back to the sketch real quick. So imagine if this wasn't there, then this would just be a regular gable hip. Gables usually get about 10% waste. Hips, roof usually get about 15% waste. If you have the eagle view will tell you exactly how much waste you will need, and then you'll just put it in the line item that like we're about to do right now. But for the sake of this exercise, we're going to split the middle and just do 12%. So highlight it blue, attach, then we're going to type in allow for 12%. Now that we have that there, we're going to go back to the roof, and then we're going to type in times. This is the star that's above the number 8 on your computer. Then you're going to put 1.12. So this is pretty much 112%, right? So whenever you put whatever waste it is, if it's 8%, then it's going to be 0.08. If it's 10%, it's going to be 0.10. But since we're using 12, it's going to be 1.12. Hit OK. Now we have to use the starters. It's the starter shingles that needs to be put on around the perimeter before the shingles get put on. So we're going to estimate for that. And we usually use the universal cores, but we're going to do this one. And see, it didn't put any value in there, but this needs to be around the perimeter, so we're just going to put P. Now we're going to add the felt, F-E-L-T. These are the two options. So 15-pound felt is for pretty much the southern states, so in states that don't get a lot of snow or ice. So that's going to be 15%. 30-pound is going to be for more up north states. The only way that most insurance companies will approve the 30-pound is if that town says that that's code, and then they'll go ahead and do the 30%. But for most insurance companies, they're going to just do 15%. So let's do that. 15-pound. Ice and water barrier. This is a code item. This could go around the eave and plus the rakes. Good for that. but most insurance companies, they have a calculator to tell you. Maybe you put some information in there, and it tells you exactly how much you need, and then you would have to upload the results of that calculator to the file to back your findings, and then you put that number here. But we'll just go along with that. And as you can see, the eave and the rake is the same as the perimeter. They're pretty much the same exact thing, same measurement. I could even change the P, just put P here, and it'll be fine. Okay. Next, if the house has a drip edge, I'm going to estimate for the drip edge. Now, these items don't need to be in any particular order. Most insurance companies, they do want to see the tear off and the laminate shingles first, and then these things can be, and then the waste right underneath the laminate shingle. So this is the most important order for it to have. This is optional, this one, so you could have it in there or not, but 1, 2, 3 are going to be the most important. Drip edge goes around the perimeter, so that's in there. Let's take a look at this real quick. Now the hip, ridge hip, let's see, hip slash ridge cap. This is the shingles that goes along the hip or the ridge of the roof. So if we go back to sketch, these lines going up are the hips. The line in the middle are the ridges. So that's what that item is, to cover those areas with shingles. So that's what this item is, to cover it. So what you want to put is R, and we're doing hip and ridge, so you have to put a plus sign and type in hip. Okay. If there is a continuous vent, like a ridge vent, you type in ridge vent, continuous ridge vent. Oops, is that the right one? No, that's not the right one. That's aluminum. Ridge vent. This is a continuous ridge vent, shingles over style. So click that. These are the ridge vents that have the actual vent, the opening right there, the plastic opening. And since these are not going to be on your hip, they will be on the ridge right down the middle. So if you see them, they'll be right here, or they'll be right there, but they won't be on the hip lines, triangle parts going up. So we'll leave that as an R. There's some things that you'll see, like exhaust cap. Not a huge price difference, so but most insurance adjusters, they use this one. You'll measure the width of the cap to figure out which one they're going to use. So we're going to go with this. Let's say there's 2 of them on the roof. Flash piping. Let's say there's 4 of them on the roof. Turbine. Let's say there's a turbine on the roof. I'm just putting these things in so you guys can see what they look like. That will be on there. Let's say there's 2 on the roof. There's a turtle vent. It's either going to be metal or plastic. You have to tap it to see what fabric it is, or sometimes you can just tell by just looking at it. But these are what's called turtle. Then mass meters. This is what a mass meter looks like. Honda 2. So this is showing that we're going to replace it. Um, this is more like an electric company type thing. So you're not really going to replace that. What you're going to do, if you're a roofer, you can put that in, but the insurance company is going to counter that with a split roof. Flash pipe split roofing. So if you're an adjuster and you see a mass meter, you see this thing on the roof, you're going to use this item instead, the split roof. So let's go ahead and just delete that. If there's any satellites on the roof, satellites is 2Ls. We're going to do a detach and reset. Insurance companies are not really going to approve the align and calibration. That's something that the satellite company has to do, and then the insured will send in the invoice. We're going to use RFG, not the ELS, because we're doing the roof. And that's pretty much a roof right there. Came out to be $9,726.11. 15 estimated line items. Most of these things right here, these are optional stuff, depending on the style of roof and what you'll see. So I'm going to take these out real quick. From here, delete starter, and let's take this one out. This thing. All right, so the tear off laminate explanation for the waste and why these two are different. Allow for 12% waste. So this is showing why these two lines are different. You always need a starter. You always need a felt. But let's change this back to the adjuster. So if you're an adjuster, you're not going to need that line item, and we're going to make this. Wait, well, let me see something real quick. Felt, 15 pounds, 36. So it's pretty much the same cost. If you 36, this is 35. Go to 195. Yeah, it's pretty much the same, but insurance companies like to just add it in one line item. It'll be the same price. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Ice and water barrier has to be up to, it's a code thing. Drip edge may not be there on the roof. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items are the core of your estimate, right? See the price drop down down to 6,900, but these are going to be the core things. And laminate or 3-tab, you could just highlight this and then change it to 3-tab by clicking that arrow. 240, include the felt. And then if this is a 3-tab, then this needs to be changed as well to a 3-tab, because it says laminate. So you just click this arrow. 3-tab is right there. It's okay. So now this is a 3-tab, the course. So this would be the core for all of that as well. Now you have to depreciate it if you are a adjuster. Roofers don't have to. They can just leave that. But what you'll do is highlight by clicking number 1, make it blue, then you'll hold control, then you'll click number 9. It's going to highlight everything. You're going to click global changes. You're going to go to coverage, drop down. You're going to go to depreciation. You're going to depreciate by age and condition. So you talk to the insurer. The insurer said the house is 10 years old. You're going to uncheck that. You're going to type 10. It's okay. It does the depreciation for you. So you can't depreciate tear off because that's not an item, but you can depreciate the shingle quality. So that's depreciated by 1900. The asphalt is depreciated by 200. The hip is depreciated by 200. So these are replacement cost value. This is what it will be worth without the depreciation. This is the actual cost value. See how so we're subtracting the depreciation from the replacement cost, and that's what you get. This is what this amount is. Will when you add this up, this would be the amount that the insured gets in advance. And then once the job is complete, or the roofer contractor guarantees that they're going to complete the job, then they'll get the depreciated amount. So I believe that's it. In the next lesson, I'll probably go over through all the roofing line items, just so we can see how all of them works. But as you can see right here in the category, RFG means roofing. So when you get really good at this, you can just click here and you just type RFG 300, laminated RG 240. Right? And that's when you really know. That's when you're moving real fast because you don't have to search here. You just go in there. All right. So that's it, guys. See you in the next video.